Hey, look, everybody, it's Jason Schappert.
What? Kenneth, you look so good today. The red on your face, it brings out your eyes. You know that?
Oh, my
Jason,
God.
before we get started, what kind of cheap, low-budget motel room are you in right now?
Well, you know, it's funny you say that. I am actually in the place of Mr. Heron's conception, that being Melbourne, Florida. And this fantastic establishment is all that exists in Ken's hometown, believe it or not.
Do you
That's
know
where he was conceived.
Do you know where I was? Do you know where I was born?
I thought you were born in Melbourne.
No, Cape Canaveral.
That's like the same thing, Ken.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, what do I know? I was only in Florida long enough to be born.
Well, Kelly, you really think this is a cheap hotel room? This is $89 a night. Come on.
Hey, man, that's uptown. Look at that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I can smell the sin coming out of the walls.
Here's how you can tell.
Cigarette burns in the carpet. What are you talking about?
Here's how you can tell if it's a cheap motel. The pictures on the wall, if you're able to move them or if they're locked down. Let's find out.
Here we go. Here's the test.
Yeah. Cheapo.
That was good.
In a nice hotel, they trust you. In a cheap hotel, they're like, nah.
It's where they have the small hangers too on the little hooks, so you don't take them home.
That's the other one is. So you don't take them. They don't give you no robes. There.
Exactly.
Yeah. No Toblerone for you. All right. So hey, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for doing what you do with RemotePilot101.com. Just to let everybody know before we start chatting, and we will be chatting. RemotePilot101.com, the place to go to study for your Part 107 test so you can legally make money and you don't get the government upset with you.
Yes.
So, and use Heron 18, that's the code to remember, for 30% off. So there you go.
Still the most used promo code, Ken. People like you and they even listen to you.
No, go on.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
looking at you is like looking in a mirror, buddy.
Of course. Looking in a mirror that time travels to my 30s. Anyway.
Because the two watches.
That's right. Now, I think, according to your watch, it's time to talk a little bit about some upcoming FAA changes, and people are worried. What should people be concerned with? Now, and along those lines, I get questions all the time like, I want to get into the drone hobby, but I'm afraid to buy anything now because it's going to be obsolete or regulated out of existence. What do I do, Ken? So how would you answer that?
It's a great question. You say you want to talk the new rules and regulations. I would say which one? You know, we can certainly start with remote ID because you're right. Everyone's freaking out. I'm going to drop X amount of dollars on an Inspire 2, used, new, doesn't matter, whatever it may be. DJI FPV, which is, you know, a phenomenal FPV drone. I've heard Ken just
phenomenal.
Rave about it.
Have you flown one?
I have not. And I remember you said you wanted to chase my airplane with one, and I'm having second thoughts on letting you do such a thing now.
Well,
with the reliability of it.
I've been practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be fine. This thing is so rugged. Oh. Okay. Broken arm. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, we're talking remote ID, and yes, remote ID is coming. Again, for those that don't know, think of remote ID as like your digital license plate. Ken can't be driving down the road and see an attractive lady and write down her license plate and go Google and find out about her. Thank God it doesn't work that way because I'm sure Ken's tried it. Remote ID is going to be the exact same thing. We'll be able to see who's there. We'll have that digital license plate, but myself and Ken and Kelly, we won't be able to do anything with it. The FAA will. Perhaps law enforcement, they've kind of gone 50-50 on that with some approvals to be able to do that. Now the question arises when you say, I've got a closet full of 6 DJI drones and a bunch of different FPV drones. What happens in that case? Well, this is the opportunity where someone who is an entrepreneur, a capitalist, wants to come out because the FAA is publishing guidance for making aftermarket remote ID that could work in that place and suffice off that as well. So there, you can, please go purchase your used Inspire 2, whatever it is. It's going to become obsolete. All technology becomes obsolete. Look at Ken's computer. I mean, everything becomes obsolete.
Yeah, you got me there. You got me there.
Everything's obsolete eventually, but you can keep Band-Aiding it together, Ken.
So if we have older drones, are we going to be able to bring them up to regulation with some kind of
absolutely.
aftermarket something or
There'll
other?
be, again, the older DJI products, absolutely. Some of these things that you're doing home built and everything else, it could be another ball game. I'm not sure about that. And then I think about the FPV community, and I'm actually excited to follow what Race Day Quads is doing. No one gets excited about a lawsuit. I guess that sounds weird, but it'll be interesting to follow what happens, because the FPV community is all about weight and aerodynamics and speed. So adding something else to the equation, I can see that not going over very well, in addition to all the other having to fly in FRIAs if they don't want to do it, and all the other regulatory stuff that goes with it.
Yeah. Now, just to be sure, you're not making up the regulations. You're just telling us about them so that we know. Right.
Oh, sure.
So
I'm not the enforcer, man. I'm just the educator. That's all I'm doing. Don't blame the messenger.
That's right. But whenever we have people on talking about, how awesome remote ID is going to be, and there are some parts that can benefit us. There's always people that are like, no, man, I'll never change it. I'm going to be in the old days forever. I do understand that we do need digital license plates. There's going to be soon over 1 million registered drones in this country alone. That's a lot, and that's a lot that the FAA has to deal with. So, I'm on board with remote ID. I hate that it's not the Wild West anymore. I guess those days are gone, and we have to evolve with the technology, right? And we froze, and that's it, and it's over, and that's
no, we didn't freeze.
Are we still here?
Yeah, we're still here. Jason, can you hear us?
Jason's on that Motel 6.
You still got me, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still here, man.
Cutting in and out?
No, we're good. Jason's on Motel 6 modem. He can't hear.
Jason, can you hear me?
Come in, Jason. Let's talk about him behind his back. All right. I'm going to call him back.
Okay.
I'm going to call him.
You want me to hang on?
Yeah, you stay here. I'll just call him back. We'll hang up with him.
All right.
Yeah, why not? The show's already shot. Hey, here's a fun drinking game. Whenever my face gets super red, have a drink. You'll be drunk by the end of the night. Man, why is there more people watching than ever? That's weird.
Dude, they're here for the meltdown. They're not here for the drone information, the news, the videos. They are here. If you're here for the meltdown, hashtag I came for the meltdown in the chat. Hashtag I came for the meltdown.
I never watch TNL except when it's messing up. Oh my God. All right, we're calling Jason back. I have a very, very carefully planned show, informational. Jason, you there?
Well, it's that high quality internet in old Melbourne, Florida. They can sure, send people to the moon, but I just can't Skype in to old Ken Heron's show.
Yeah, you got that no-tell motel bandwidth going on.
I should have did the $99 a night room. I knew it.
Yeah,
Jason, does the code Heron18 also save me 30% at seedy hotels in Melbourne, Florida?
You're spot on, my friend. I used it when I checked in.
So, all right, let's try to get back on track before the next derailment. The ADS-B.
Wow.
Is there going to be ADS-B transmitters?
Man, if you would have asked me this 12 months ago, do you remember when the DJI Inspire came out and had ADS-B in on it? And I thought, well, this is remote ID. And that never really came to fruition. And I don't believe ADS-B is going to be the solution. Remote ID it's going to be its own living, breathing thing, just because ADS-B is already so cluttered. When I'm flying in my manned aircraft, I see all the ADS-B traffic now on my iPad. And you'll see even the cars on the ground that are traveling, the fuel trucks, everything else have ADS-B as ground vehicles as well. So it's already so cluttered. I don't think the FAA wants to clutter it up anymore with that. And before we cut out to Ken, you said something. It's not that I'm super in favor of remote ID. My parents raised me to be a rule follower, I guess.
Yeah.
So I am going along with what we're given. And this is what the FAA has dished out to us. I'm an internal optimist. I choose to put a smile on my face and make the best of it and just educate others so they can go out and make a profit with this, unless they, want to do surveying in, where was that, North Carolina, and they want to get shut down from there.
Right.
But You know what I mean? That's my main goal. I want to help others. I want to help others play by the rules, and these are the rules we're given. So I'm just the educator on the side of this.
Absolutely.
It's not like I wear remote ID T-shirts to bed or anything
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
that's what I'm saying. But you know, the people that are chasing windmills and saying, "Oh, this sucks," and you know, what you know, target your anger towards the people that can make change. You know, your legislators and vote and do things like that. Don't just go the street corner. This sucks.
Yeah.
Anyone? No? Okay. You know, you're just yelling at nothing. Make the change if you can. But in the meantime, we have to follow these rules because there's nothing we can do about it. Really.
Sure.
You know. So there's some other things that I wanted to talk to you about before the next screw up, and that is that there are some people that are thinking that they can take their 107 knowledge test online.
No.
At the FAA.
So there's some confusion with this. So our initial tests, meaning this is the first time you are not a remote pilot. You're just a hobbyist. You want to become a Part 107 certificated pilot. You still have to go to an FAA testing center, a PSI testing center, pay the $160 it is now, and take your initial test. After that, you can go do this new FAA recurrent test that as of this date, as of today, March 25th, isn't out yet. And if I can be honest with you, Ken, I'm actually very thankful. I know Vic's coming on in a little bit. I'm very thankful for Vic helping out as well. I shot this stupid video 3 times, I think, saying the recurrent test is coming, the recurrent test is coming. And the FAA just keeps changing the date. And in typical government fashion, they keep pushing it back. So my advice to anybody out there, and I see a few in the chat as well, if you've got a recurrent test that's due at the end of March, you need to go take it at a PSI testing center because the FAA is not going to be ready. They're talking the middle of April now, and if I can be honest with you, I would plan to study for the recurrent test and still go to a PSI testing center. You can't bank on the fact that the FAA is going to make this thing out of thin air that quickly. So I would be ready to pivot and do both. Eventually, though, Ken and Kelly, you'll be able to, and Ken, your recurrent's still quite a ways out. Kelly, I can't remember when yours is.
October.
But October. So you got some time. You'll be able to go take it online and do it that way. They say there's going to be no charge to it, and there's going to be new topics covered too. Because now, after you, Kelly, go and take your recurrent, you'll be able to fly at night without a daylight waiver, which I know sounds like an oxymoron, but you'll be able to fly at night without that daylight waiver, assuming you've done the updated recurrent. Now, to that point as well, Kelly, you might be saying, okay, I'm October. You could go do your recurrent early, Kelly, so you get that nighttime ability. Now, the drone still has to be ready for night flying with our lights and everything else that falls under Part 107 from a regulatory standpoint. But you, as the remote pilot in command, Kelly, you might want to consider doing your recurrent early when this recurrent from the FAA actually comes out. Call it April, call it May, I don't know.
How will that work? I mean, is there going to be some type of proxy watching me, or is it open book? Can I, nobody knows?
We don't know, honestly. It's all online. So to give you some perspective, since I'm in manned aviation, I didn't actually have to go take the Part 107 at the PSI testing center. I did because I want to know what it was like as we're prepping people for this since 2016 now on Part 107 side. All I have to do is go take an FAA test on the FAA's website. It's 30 questions. You literally can't get them wrong. If you put in B, it goes, try again, Jason. And you put maybe it's C, try again. Okay, it's got to be A this time, right? You literally can't get it wrong.
Wow.
It's like Ken's dream test.
Yeah.
It's just like, I will get this right.
I wish high school was like that.
All the way down to get 100%, and then it issues your certificate from there. I imagine it's probably going to be similar to that. But I have not seen this. Vic would be a great one to ask when you have him on. Maybe he has his hands in that a little bit as to what the user experience and user interface is going to be like on the FAA's website. I'm sure it's not going to be pretty, but it'll work.
Yeah, but don't let your 107 lapse thinking that you're going to be able to just catch up with this online thing. Now, there are some people that have let their 107 lapse. What do you need to do there in order to get back up on the horse?
You just need to take the recurrent. Now, when you lapse, you cannot go out and be a Part 107 operator. You can still be a hobbyist, have a great time crashing your DJI FPV, whatever it is, right? But you cannot go out and fly in furtherance of a business, is the famous word Ken likes to quote all the time. And it's genius lawyer talk, because that really means, hey, Ken hired me to fly over the radio station today, and I'm going to do it for free because he's my buddy. But the radio station's going to post it on their Facebook. It's furthering the radio station's business, even though no money changed hands.
Right. Yeah, it's very brilliant wording. Let me back up to the daylight waiver thing. I have one that expires in 2024. Wow. So will I be able to hang on to that until, you think?
Now, your recurrent's going to come up due before that, and you're going to operate off of our new rules and regulations instead. Yes, you can use your daylight waiver in the meantime until it's time for your recurrent if you don't want to take it a little bit early, but you have that option if you wish to. Now, to that point of taking it early, Kelly, I mean, you got to realize too, you are going to lose a few months, because now May becomes your new renewal every 24 calendar months. However, is it worth giving up the May to October few months in exchange for being able to operate at night whenever I want and not have to use a daylight waiver or bug Ken to borrow his, let him be the remote PIC, all that sort of stuff?
Do they issue new cards? Because I have one that's in my wallet that I got in 2016. That's a cool FA. It's got a hologram on it.
It's got your name. It's pretty official stuff. I get it. No, they're not issuing new cards. So how it works right now is I get my initial card in the mail. It looks so great. You know, Ken uses it at the bar. If there's an attractive bartender, he tries to pay with it, and they go, "That's not a credit. Oh, that's my Jerome certificate." He says, "I'm so sorry. Here's my Visa. Here's my American Express Black card." Hands over after that.
Yeah.
You have your card. You are to keep your past recurrent test with you, the most current one. So those two documents together make Ken or Kelly a current remote pilot. I would imagine, again, this is probably a question for Vic next, you'll get some sort of printout that you're going to print out, and those two documents, once again, together will make and show that Ken is a current pilot staying on top of everything.
So they're still issuing the cool plastic cards to people who take the test the first time?
Because you're still going to the PSI testing center to take that initial test from there, and they're going to send you one in the mail, yes.
Okay, can you, like you can with your car insurance, have it on your phone on a PDF? Is that, or do you have to have the physical document?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know that answer. I'm going to vote. I've always been taught in manned aviation that I have to have the physical card with me. But in today's digital age, I can tell you have the physical card with you is best.
Yeah.
Because there's actually procedures if you lose your card, how to get a new one, request a new one within 30 days and everything else.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, let me remind everybody, this is Jason Schappert we're talking to, and this is his place that you should go to. Check it out. It's remotepilot101.com. And you can use Heron 18 to get a discount to become a member there. Now, that's for life. That's forever.
It's forever, man.
Right?
I got you covered. And we're pushing out all our new updates to reflect night, moving vehicles, over people, all the new rules and regulations we went over a few episodes ago. Ken, all those are being pushed out now. So as people are going through, although the FAA hasn't officially updated these databases yet to reflect that, we are getting everybody prepared, everybody ready with the new questions, the new videos. So anybody who's just hopping in there now, they can know they always have the most up-to-date information out there.
All right. Kelly, do you see any people with questions in the chat? I see a bunch of people posting some regulations. I don't know if that's a question, but I can't.
Tater Rogers in the chat asked Jason what is his favorite watch brand.
Oh.
Wow. It's my pigeon jerky watch, actually.
Of course.
You don't have to. There's no daylight saving time. It just connects to the pigeon carrier and via satellite.
Yeah, and it's his little wing that goes around and tells the time.
Thank you. Exactly. Except when you forget it at the beginning of the show. That was, this show was off from the very beginning, Ken, and that's why.
That's what it was. It was pigeon jerky.
Yeah.
Doc Murdoch in the chat. Jason, what happens if someone makes an aftermarket remote ID module?
Absolutely. They can. It's going to need to be approved by the administrator. That's what the FAA is calling itself now, the administrator. It sounds very official, doesn't it? It's going to need to be approved by the FAA. And again, this is another opportunity to make money in a space that we all love. I'm not an engineer. I wouldn't have the background to make such a thing. But the opportunity is there for those who want to take it and are mechanically inclined to create such and get it approved. There's a lot of red tape, I'm sure, to get that approved. But there are new industries emerging because of remote ID as well. So you could look at this as a blessing in disguise for those of you that might want to venture into something else.
So do you think now is a good time for people to start their photography businesses? And
absolutely. I hate people, I don't hate people. I hate when people say, "Oh, I'll wait for this. I'll wait for this." That should have is going to get us absolutely nowhere. Is what's really going to happen. Get started, get going, get learning. Your advice you gave earlier with the other Ken, way better looking Ken, by the way, and funnier, but anyways, your advice where he was talking about going from a Mavic to an Inspire, or the guy that just bought the brand new DJI FPV and schmucked it into the Atlantic Ocean. You're spot on. More money doesn't equal more skill. We see the same thing in manned aviation. In manned aviation, people go out and I'm going to buy this $1 million plane, and that's what I'm going to learn to fly in. And that's like giving a kid a Ferrari at 16 years old. You need to be like Ken, and get the Abarth non-turbocharged version and drive that around. You couldn't even get a girlfriend because no one else can fit in the passenger seat. So your parents would have known you would have been safe, Ken. You can't even put friends in the car. That's
true. You're not getting jiggy with it in a barf.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not. Are there any other questions that we see?
And you're probably not getting jiggy with it if you're still using the phrase "getting jiggy with it."
Good point.
Yeah, sure. Parachute pants. That's what Ken has on right now. I saw it. You show.
Are you kidding? How did you know?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Wait. Hammer, don't hurt him.
Stop. Hammer time.
Oh, my God. I'm so old. I'm so old.
JSK Enterprise in the chat, is the initial test going to change in any way, shape, or form?
Yes, the initial test is going to change, and I'm going to use present tense is changing right now. So now, when we do our initial test, there are going to be questions about night flying, because through even passing our initial test, Kelly, we'll still be able to utilize those new night privileges without a waiver. So that is all changing. Remember, flights over moving vehicles, over people, these things have changed. Remember, Ken, a few episodes ago, we got into the category 1, 2, 3, and 4 drones of 11 foot-pounds of kinetic energy and all that crazy stuff. We're teaching that in the new courses as well, preparing for that to start popping up in the initial tests as well. So don't glaze over when we get into all these little details. Obviously, we'll make it fun and memorable, but yeah, that's going to be in there.
Are there still going to be METARs?
There's still going to be METARs. There's still going to be TAFs.
I hate METARs.
Take the online test now. The online test is going to be so easy. It's going to be Ken-proof.
Oh,
I'm
right.
telling you.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Now, okay, how many wrong answers can I get? Them METARs are like hieroglyphics.
It's like the man pilot one where it's like, Ken, it's not A, and you go, B or C, B or, and you just have to do it. You can do it, man.
I can do it. All right.
I believe in you.
So at the end of this, are we going to have more knowledgeable pilots out there with this easy kind of test thing, or will it dumb us down?
Oh, that's a good question. I am going to say we're going to have pilots with more freedoms and more abilities. Mm-hmm. And you're saying, how does that happen with remote ID? With remote ID, we've also, yes, I get it. People say remote ID, Big Brother, watch me, all this stuff. But on the other side, you can't just look at the negative, right? You got to look at the positive too. Night is super, super cool. It's my understanding that beyond visual line of sight is coming very soon as well. Moving vehicle, over people, these sort of things are here and coming in the spring. And I realize we're in the spring now, 2021. There's some good in all of this as well. So some of this is paving the way for what Ken likes to call, delivery drones, the delivery drone regs. And you're not wrong when you say that, Ken. But if we're willing to play by the rules, there is greater opportunity out for us to really utilize this and fly more.
Okay, is our precious 400 AGL space going to be threatened? with all this? Are we going to have that? Are we going to be knocked down to 200? What's your opinion?
We have it now. I don't know. If I could predict the future, what I believe is going to happen is we're going to essentially create airspace, you're right, for these delivery drones is what's going to end up happening with that. That they're going to picture it like a highway in the sky, and they're going to have their specific highways to take them through, and we might have our own air maps like we do in manned aviation, unmanned aviation. So these delivery drones, and there will be delivery drones. Ken, I know you are skeptical of this a little bit. You will get a pizza from a drone one day. I'm optimistic.
Sure,
about
yeah.
that. It may be cold
in a big city, but I'm not going to live in Armpit, Louisiana, and get. It's just never going to happen because everybody knows. You can't live in Armpit, Louisiana without owning a gun. And that's just too much temptation. You know, I got another one, honey. Honey, come on. There's another. Look at them tube socks. It's just not going to happen.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And you're right. In the big cities, they're going to appreciate that first. But also, Ken, in the big cities, they have the most airspace restrictions as well. You look at New York, it's got JFK and Teterboro and LaGuardia just all on top of each other. A drone pilot looks at that map and goes, where can I fly? Right? There's not a lot of airspace to fly anyways. So they're going to be mapping this out. And yes, it's going to hit big cities first, and we'll see where it goes from there. I haven't heard of 400 AGL being taken away from us. I really, really hope it doesn't. Again, an airplane that's down below 400 AGL has got worse issues, unless it's near an airport, to worry about instead of our little drones flying around as well.
Right. And just to clarify, I do think that these drones that bring out defibrillators and blood and medicine and all and testing things, I think that's wonderful. And absolutely, that will happen and is happening right now all over the world. How much time do you have before the maids come in and wash that methy smell out of your bed sheets there?
They're over there now. You know.
Okay. All right. So you got a little bit of time.
Man.
Okay.
Show your hometown. Show respect to your hometown.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry. All right. So I've got some video that I wanted to share with you.
Love it.
One is a Would You Ride It. We'll save that for a second. But did you happen to have time to see me chasing the plane?
I have not seen you chasing
okay,
the
that's
plane
fine.
Yet. I know you sent it to Amanda, and I apologize.
No, that's good. That's good because we're going to watch it together now. This is my first attempt. Maybe you can talk to what's going on. Now, here's something I didn't realize. And I didn't even mention it in the video until somebody commented on this. I think the reason why I crashed with this thing on the first try is because there's that turbulent air directly behind the plane.
Wake turbulence.
Wake turbulence. Yeah. Yes, I think that's what happened here. But let's watch it together in case you haven't seen this.
Okay, we're going to back taxi the remainder of the runway because the runway behind you doesn't matter. And we will be taking off.
All right, I'm in manual mode.
Mayfield traffic, Bonanza 25617 is departing runway 19er, Mayfield.
It's okay. If you can get it going again, that'd be cool. Not urgent. All right, so I'm gonna come over here. I gotta adjust my camera angle to get the maximum. Oh, geez, I can't do that. All right, I'm gonna have to adjust the angle as I'm going. Whew. The reason why I look shaky is because I'm shaking. All right, here we go.
This is so nerve-wracking for me.
Camera angle going up. Oh, I crashed.
Oh, no.
I totally crashed. I crashed. It's done. You think it's broken? Neither quad. Here, give me this. We both crashed.
Better you than me.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so I think I got caught in that wake turbulence there. Your thoughts, Jason?
Again, there were so many crashes. There wasn't much to see there.
Yeah.
Were you to the left or the right of it was a Bonanza, right?
Yeah, 1986 Bonanza. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think coming off that propeller, you'll get a spiraling slipstream that's going to come back and back to the left a little bit, hanging out on that side. Yeah, you get caught in that super easy. But it looked like you had no problem crashing that with outwake turbulence as well. So I don't know if that's just your excuse.
Did it say the battery popped out? Did it?
Yeah.
I saw that flash on the screen.
I bumped the ground and it dislodged the battery enough that it shut the power off. The problem is,
oh my goodness.
It's got a little strap here where the battery hooks into, and when it hit, you can see it's all scuffed up. Sure, it's pilot error. Sure, I'll admit that. But they have to take off into the wind, and there's all that prop. Okay, no excuses there. All right.
Is it really that bad of a drone, Ken? Like I'm kind of like with Kelly. I'm like 50-50 on getting one, but you make me not want to get one.
Yeah, go ahead and get one. If you want a set piece for your set, for your M0A set, you want to look cool, just put it on there. Just never, ever fly it because it's made of glass.
I could nail it to the wall like that picture behind me.
Yeah,
Right.
So me and the pilot, that's my morning show partner, Jason.
Yeah, good name.
It is a good name. So I'll just let everybody know. My plan is to fly this thing into a running propeller on a just an engine, not a plane, because Yeah.
Just an engine, please.
Just the engine, because and I asked him if we could do it in a plane, and he told me that even if you
absolutely
get
not.
No, absolutely not. If you get a bird strike or anything, you have to kind of disassemble the engine.
Overhaul. That's a $35,000 repair.
Yeah. So no on that. So we're going to take some old prop, some old barn beat engine, and do it on the ground.
Fly into an airboat. How about that?
Ooh, and now do you have an airboat available in Florida? I'll come to Florida for that.
No.
All right.
No. I may be in a cheap, Melbourne motel, but no airboat.
Oh, okay.
That wouldn't hurt an airboat at all?
It's an airboat.
An airboat. What's it going to do?
It's airplane that, an airboat, the engine goes out, you're just floating. An airplane, the engine goes out. It's not like I can call AAA up in the air and come and get me.
Good point.
Like when Ken's Mazda breaks down or something that.
Oh, man. Oh.
Shots fired again.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can make fun of me some more because here's my second attempt at this.
I'm taking off.
All right.
Okay.
Notice it doesn't have scuffs now.
All right, I'm in manual mode. I'm not going to mess with the angle too terribly much. I am going to turn it up a little bit. Just a little. Okay. You can tell me, are you ready, Chris?
Are you ready, Chris?
All right, tell him to go, Adam.
We're good to go when you are.
All right, Bonanza 25617, our Mayfield traffic, Bonanza 25617 is departing runway 19er Mayfield.
So he's going to come over here.
I got to tell you, Jason, I was so apprehensive because, I absolutely did not want to interfere with the plane. I'm like torn between getting the shot, getting close to the plane, interfering with that. I don't want to piss anybody off. I want to follow the rules. But yes, people are wondering, this is legal, actually. This is
absolutely. Yeah, you're at an uncontrolled airport, Class G airspace.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're a Part 107 certificate pilot. I do this in manned aviation to show how to land an airplane, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Of course, you have to let the pilot and, people know that you're doing this. Don't just...
I hit pause.
Oh, here we go.
Ah, damn it. I went into normal. This controller. This controller. This controller.
What happened?
Did you get that? Yeah. Damn it, I hate this thing. This thing. User error on that one. Again there, Jason.
All right, how many of these do you have in you, buddy? We'll do one more. It'll be all right.
Okay.
All right.
Mayfield traffic, Bonanza 25617, turning left, downwind for runway 19er Mayfield.
So he was nice enough to take off and land 3 times so I could film.
And he's a good friend.
Yeah.
Now, what happened that time? It was user error. I couldn't quite understand what was happening.
It was controller design error. No, it was my fault.
You hit a pause button? What happened?
Yeah, it's got this, that's why people are buying this, because if you get in trouble, you just hit the pause button and it corrects itself and it sits there like that. So if you get in trouble, that's one of the reasons why people are buying it. But I did that by accident.
Wow.
So I blame myself, of course. At the time, I was blaming the controller. I was just so mad because I knew, we only got one more run left. But anyway, let's get into an aircraft that actually flies pretty well. Have you heard about the EHang?
Of course I know the EHang. Yeah, I saw they were making a vertiport too. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see that. No, but they're...
Yeah, I'm surprised all the old news director lost that. They're making I think it's called a vertiport, a vertical takeoff and landing port in Paris, I want to say.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
EHang's making it. Yeah, I want to say it was in Paris.
Of all the wacky manned drones, this is one that I might ride. So let me know. Would you ride it? This is them doing, no, there's nobody in it, but they did a test. And they flew it pretty far from one location to another over water. It's a pretty well-designed thing, and you have to wonder, what kind of redundancy does it have? How many props can go out before you're in serious trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me know in the chat. Would you ride this thing? Because I think this is the world leader in these types of vehicles right now.
Yeah, they're definitely ahead, and they've got the brand recognition. It's cool.
Would you ride in it if you're not piloting it?
That's tough. I'm a control freak when it comes to that. I don't know if I don't even like riding in an Uber. I want to help the guy or gal. That's tough. The one problem I have with the EHang is the fact that the props are below me. What if I have an emergency, like a fire on start, and I need to get out?
Oh, right.
But the engine's still running. Like, do I have the ability to shut it down? Am I just going to jump into a blender, or am I going to be on fire? Like, neither are great options.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Just something I think about. If I had to get out of that thing quickly, I'm sitting on a blender.
There's a lot of people in the chat saying, yeah. Carl's Corner said, I'll wait for version 2. That's always smart. Wait for the second version, right? You don't want to beta test with your life.
Yeah, good point.
On that note, Kelly, I think I know your answer.
I was thinking about it until Jason talked me out of it with his fiery blender example.
Come ride the fiery blender version 2.0. Now with even more blendability. Will it blend, Kelly Green? Remember that guy?
All right.
Remember the Will It Blend guy who put everything in a blender? What a brilliant idea for a channel. Is he still blending stuff, that guy?
He actually developed EHang. He's the CEO.
Okay. Good.
That's so good. That's so good.
This is a cool thing. This is the future. It is.
Yeah.
Certainly within.
I get it, and you have a point too. I do a lot of helicopter flying too, and I know, man, when you auto rotate, you don't really get to choose where you're going. Maybe to some extent. Can I afford to lose a prop and auto rotate safely? Is it an octocopter? I couldn't really count them all there. Could I afford to lose one prop, two props?
Speaking of auto rotating, in the Mayfield Airport, there was what do you call those things? It's like a plane, but it's a helicopter, and you need four.
Autogyro.
An autogyro
on the back with a yeah.
Yeah. I saw that, and I was thinking in my head, I would not ride that. Would you? Yeah. Would you ride in one? Would you fly one?
I would once. It's actually a whole FAA certificate called Autogyro. It's totally different than it's still under the rotorcraft category like a helicopter, but it's totally different. So I couldn't even fly one if I wanted to as a helicopter pilot because it's so unique and different. Because it's a pusher, takes off like an airplane, but has the rotor. That's its wing essentially, like a helicopter. They're different. Most are open cockpit too. I don't know what the ones you saw. But they're open. It's interesting.
Yeah, this thing looked like somebody turned a combine into a helicopter. It just didn't look. Yes, Kelly.
Jason, what's your airline of choice when you have to fly and pay for your ticket and get on a plane and trust a pilot? What's your airline of choice?
Good question.
My loyalty is with Delta, although we have of the 33 team members that work for us, about 12 of them are or full-time with United and work for us part-time. So I get a lot of flack for that one.
So you are an instructor pilot. You're an author. Yeah. You run M0A, the flight school for manned aviation.
Ken's best friend. Don't forget that. That's on the resume.
A best friend of Ken Heron. Yeah. And so I must know, with your vast aviation experience, where in the plane do you sit in a passenger aircraft?
Oh, you always go up front because the pilots are going to save themselves. You want to be as close to the pilots as possible.
What?
You know that they're not gonna put the cockpit down hard.
Really? Because every disaster TV show I see. It's some redneck who was in the John at the time. Man, I was just popping a squat back there. Turns out I'm the last person alive on this plane. Good thing I was in the tail. Wait, what's the safest place on a plane if it goes down?
Man, you up front with the pilots because you know what's going on. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
here's
closest
what's
call
going
you've ever
on.
had, Jason?
Here's what's going
I
on.
had
We're
an
going to
engine
go to the
failure on
mountain
takeoff.
first.
I lost cylinder number 3 on takeoff in one of my aircraft. That was pretty. That'll get your heart pumping a little bit. You got oil hitting the cylinders, making it smoke, and everything else. It was quite exciting.
But you brought it down okay.
Oh yeah. And ironically, I was only able to maintain 400 feet AGL and just nursed her all the way around the airport and landed again.
Did you get out and kiss the ground?
Yep, I was shaking. Yeah, pretty much. It was good.
Wow.
It was in my younger days.
But that just makes you feel alive and the adrenaline's running through you. Yeah, let's do this again.
Like when your computer crashes and you just, that emergency adrenaline.
I'm out. Hey, thanks for being on. Bye-bye.
You have these senators who have never flown a drone, know nothing about drones, that are creating these rules. They assume, when people think of drones, they think of Predator drones. I will never forget the very first inner drone. We were there. This is even before Part 107. And there were people outside of the conference center protesting because they heard an inner drone. There's a drone conference, and they were anti-war protesters protesting, get rid of Predator drones, no drones. And we're thinking like, we're just flying this new thing called the Phantom right now. It's this company called DJI. Maybe you've heard of them. Like, people just don't get drones sometimes. And it's those types of people who are sitting in power to make these rules and regulations. We have the same thing happens in manned aviation as well. People make rules and regulations that have never piloted an airplane before. And that makes it very, very difficult for us sometimes. And that's why, Ken, I know you are such an advocate. You do such a good job of it. Whenever there is a proposal for new rulemaking and we have our opportunity to voice our opinion, Ken, you're one of the strongest advocates for saying, hey, here's the link, sign here, type this, say this, and get those signatures on there. And that's a big, big part of it.
And just to be sure, I want to let everybody know that I removed all of the Hellfire missiles from my Phantoms in 2015.
Good.
just to comply with the United Nations. They're all set. What are you doing anyway? All right. Well, Jason, this has gone very long. This is around the time when Kelly here gets sleepy because he's, you know how old men get. They just can't keep going.
Yeah, his dog needs to go out too. I see. I think he's pooping on the floor behind you.
We got a really bad storm here right now. I don't know if we have a tornado watch or warning or what's going on.
So let me just put this back up here again. RemotePilot101.com. Go there if you're interested in educating yourself. I mean, even if you're not going for your Part 107, it's a great source of education for aviation. And there's a chat feature on there, and people will always be there to answer any questions you have. Use Heron 18 when you sign up and save 30%.
That's the truth.
There you go.
Thank you so much, man. Always good to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. All right,
Thanks,
let's see both of those watches. Let's see them. Excellent.
Yes.
All right. See you, man. We'll let you go back to your
guys.
magic
Thanks,
fingers
have a
bed that you just put a quarter in. See you later.
See you, man.
How about that dude, huh?
He's my favorite guest and my second favorite co-host.